A team's logo is more than just a design. It's a symbol of pride, passion, and identity. The Bulldogs have always had a logo in their entire history, starting in 1935 and taking on the Bulldogs logo, the Bulldogs identity, in 1978. Through their history, the Bulldogs have had 3 major logo changes, but today, they made it 4. The Bulldogs just dropped a brand new logo, and I'm going to give a complete review of it. Let's jump in. I want to start by saying change is such a big thing. When you see teams change their logos all the time, right? Like Titans have changed their logo recently. The Raiders changed their logo recently. Even like Tigers, Knights, they had lesser changes. Manly as well as another team. And it's scary. I've heard rumors for a long time, literally over a year, that the Bulldogs would change their logo. And you always see graphic designers like Tyson Bennett, for example, come out and talk about what clubs could change their logos next. And the Bulldogs are always mentioned because the old Bulldogs logo didn't really suit the new digital era. And you look at the NRL and how it does its branding, and they have those little shields for every team, and the Bulldogs logo didn't fit into those shields. Only the Bulldog did. And when you buy merch, you can see it on all the training kits, you can see it on hats and stuff. The Bulldogs tend to just put only the Bulldog on that merch, right? They don't put the full shield logo. And so it's a change that I saw coming, and that didn't make it any less scary, because when you think about logos changing, it's like, the new logo, it needs to represent you. You get so used to this old logo. We had the Shield logo for 15 years, and that was the Bulldogs, right? That was the Bulldogs. And the thought of going to a new logo, especially like a modern remake like the Titans, like the Raiders, who I wasn't a fan of those 2 logos specifically. The Manly one was a big change, and I didn't mind the Manly one. But specifically the Titans Raiders, thinking about going to like such a modern, simplistic Bulldog did scare me a lot, because it's like, what if they screw it up? What if I now go for a team with a bad logo? Because to be quite frank, I love the old Bulldogs logo, and I don't think there's any logo that the Bulldogs have had that has been bad. I think I'm going to give you a hot take. The 2000 logo, I'm not a massive fan of. I know a lot of people glaze at and think it's our best logo. I don't think it's our best logo. I feel like it kind of looks like an alien, to be honest. But just the thought of the potential of having a logo that I don't like for the team I go for, it's scary. I'm an NBA fan. I'm a New York Knicks fan. And there's a team called the Clippers, the Los Angeles Clippers. They changed their logo, and I hate that logo. And just putting myself in the Clippers fan shoes and thinking like, what if my team changed to a logo that I hated? That's literally my worst nightmare, because that logo is me. Like, I'm such a big Bulldogs fan. I feel like that logo represents me. And I feel like most Bulldog fans, if not all Bulldog fans, would feel that way. The logo represents you as a fan. That is part of your identity. And so the thought of that changing when you've had that for 15 years, like anyone in year 8 or below, even year 9 or below, they've had that one logo that their whole life. For them, that is the Bulldogs. Luckily for me, I was old enough to, witness the old logo. So this isn't the first time in my lifetime a logo's changed. And I vividly remember the logo changing. And I liked that logo change back then. And I'll tell you what, I like this logo change now. I saw a leak of the logo maybe about a month ago, and I've heard rumors about, as I said, I've heard rumors, and I've been trying to prepare myself for a long time, but I saw a leak of it about a month ago. In fact, I have a football behind me. I literally have a football behind me with the logo on it. Look. It's right here. This is the new Bulldogs logo. It's on a football. It's been on a football behind me for so long, you guys never even noticed. When I first saw it on the leak, when I first saw it, I liked it. I think it's a good logo. I really do. I think it represents the Bulldogs. It looks like a Bulldog. But the other thing I will say before I get into, my detailed thoughts on why I like it and stuff, having seen it for a month and having looked at this football literally every day, I look at it all the time because I'm obsessed with the Bulldogs. And obviously, if they change the logo, I'm going to look at it as much as I can. Having looked at it every day for like a month or 3 weeks or however long I've been looking at it for, it grows on you really quickly. And so I think if you don't like the logo straight away, that's not a surprise. And I want to get into why it's okay not to like the logo straight away. You shouldn't be expected to like it straight away. But I will say, I think if you don't like it, it will grow on you very quickly. When I first saw it, I liked it. And even since seeing it, I like it more and more every time I look at it. Like, it's just a Bulldog. And I think I'm proud that that's my team's logo. I'm going to get into the nicks and crannies of it. The small details of the logo. Now, I don't know if you guys would have picked up on this. I assume the Bulldogs probably pointed this out when they launched it, that there are references to old logos in this logo. The most obvious one is the original logo from 1935, the CB as the collar. I think that's a great touch. And that's something that is obviously been in the original logo, and it was in the last logo and this year's anniversary logo. And I think maybe the 2015 anniversary logo as well. That's something that, carries throughout all the logos. And what is almost my favorite detail, and something that people probably don't notice as much, is the reference to the 1978 logo, the circle logo. The Bulldogs collar is the circle, and you can see the blue and black there. I think that's awesome. I think that's a really nice touch. And I think that sort of shows that it's not necessarily a logo change. It's a logo evolution. The Bulldog is evolving, and you can actually look at from the first logo all the way through to now. The logo isn't changing. It's evolving. It's sort of shaping, and it's going with the era, with the time, and you can assign that logo to that time. And I wouldn't say that the current logo is, it is replacing the old logo, but I wouldn't say it's replacing it. I just think it's the old logo evolving like a Pokemon. I'm not a big Pokemon fan. I can't believe I just made a Pokemon reference, but I really like it. And I think the hidden details in it show that, they're not just trying to move into the future and change everything. It shows that they are acknowledging the past, and they want to take the past with them into the future as well. And another design element of the Bulldog is that it is front facing, and the way that I've heard, the reasoning I've heard behind the Bulldog just being front facing is that that's what the Bulldogs are. The Bulldogs look ahead to the challenges. They don't turn away from a challenge. If there's a challenge, they take it head on, face on, and it looks kind of aggressive, but not overly aggressive. Like, it looks like a dog you wouldn't mess with, but it's also not an ugly dog. Like, Bulldogs in real life are ugly. Bulldogs are ugly dogs. They're tough, but they're also lazy and ugly. This Bulldog here, it isn't ugly. Like, I love that Bulldog as a pet, and I think that's important. I think you want your logo to look good. Even if, you go for a team like a Bulldog where it's an ugly animal, you still want it to look good. And I think they've done a really good job of making the Bulldog look good. I think, yes, it is simplistic. It is minimalistic. Well, it's not necessarily minimalistic, but it is that simplified modern logo. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of that sort of art style. Like, as I said, the Raiders and Titans logos, I'm not a fan of, but I think they've nailed the Bulldogs logo. I'm going to say it, and this is 100% bias, but I think out of all the recent logo redesigns, outside of the Tigers, sure, because I do like the Tigers logo, but out of all the logo redesigns, I think the Bulldogs is right up there as one of the best ones. And I feel like a lot of the criticism is going to be, oh, it looks AI. Let's just move past that. It doesn't look AI. The amount of work that the graphic designer put into it, spent literally over a year, maybe over 2 years designing it. I think AI is just at a point where you can literally just AI generate anything. We've seen, especially with Sora 2 out now with the Jake Paul stuff, and I keep seeing Stephen Hawking videos of him skateboarding. Like, AI is at a point where, you could probably generate that with AI, but you could also generate literally any of the other NRL logos with AI. So let's not be like, oh, it looks AI. It's a sports logo. AI, if you ask AI to generate a sports logo, it's because it's basing it off real life sports logos. Obviously, it looks AI. AI is just advanced. I don't think it looks AI when, I just think that's a lazy cop-out. And once again, I think that's just people not wanting change or being afraid of change. But that's it's natural to be afraid of change. And let me jump into that. I think if you don't like the logo or you feel like it shouldn't have changed, I think that's completely valid, because as I sort of touched on earlier, we as sports fans, we are so attached to our club that it forms part of our identity, and we're so attached to the logo because at the end of the day, the club, the logo is the one thing that completely represents the club, right? So you get so tied to those past logos. So moving on from it is hard. It's like changing schools or moving towns, moving countries. It is such a big change. And I think if your feelings are, not liking the change or not liking it, I think that is completely valid. I think that's a very fair way to feel. I think if you were keen for it to change, you're probably not a true fan, realistically. I think the fact that you don't like the change means that you're just a true fan, and you think about the history of the other logo and some of the players that wore that logo on their chest. Josh Reynolds, James Graham, Ben Barber. It was such a long era from 2010 to 2025. We had so much success with that logo, and we had really dark times with that logo as well. That old logo carries so much history. And so for it to just change on a random Thursday, that is a big deal. So it's valid to feel against it. But as I said, I think it's a really nice logo. I think you look at it and it just represents the Bulldogs, right? It just looks proud. It just looks tough. It's looking forward. And I think that's where the Bulldogs are. We're looking forward. We're not looking back, especially with the recent struggles. We're looking forward into a new era under Serrato, under Stephen Crichton, bringing all these young guys in. Galvin's now in there. Mitch Woods is coming in. We're looking forward into the future because realistically, our next premiership is in the future. That's where we should be looking. We should be looking towards our next premiership, and it is in the future. So I like that it's looking forward. But if you don't like it, it's okay. As I said, I saw it a month ago. When I initially saw it, I liked it. But it's also grown on me. So I think if you don't like it, it'll grow on you. And within a month or two, I think you'll come to like it. I think the Bulldogs have a lot of exciting things planned in terms of merchandise and that sort of thing. I can't wait to see everything rebranded. I will say on the jersey, I think that's where it looks a bit weird. I think on the jersey, it'll take some getting used to. And just in general, it's going to take some getting used to. That's what change is. Change takes getting used to. But I think with time, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, I think you will come to like it. And at the end of the day, like that's the Bulldogs' new logo. So I think, like, if you like the Bulldogs, you'll come to like it. It's as simple as that. But yeah, me personally, as I said, as soon as I saw it, I liked it. And the more I look at it, the more I like it even more. So hopefully the same happens to you guys, whether you like it or don't like it. Hopefully it does grow on you, and I'm sure it will grow on you. I can't wait to see what 2026 brings. As I said, I think there's a lot of exciting things planned. I can't wait for Vegas. I know for a fact there's a lot of cool Vegas things that are planned. And as I said, just the merch and seeing the new logo and everything, it's an exciting time. I think the fact the Bulldogs are moving into this new era, it's exciting. We didn't win any comps with the old logo. We won, obviously, 2004 was our last comp, so that was with that logo. The 2010 to 2025 logo, we didn't win anything with. So, we didn't win anything with it. So hopefully with this new logo, we can win some premierships. And hey, maybe in 20 years' time when they change the logo again, we'll look back at this current logo and we'll look at the new logo and we'll be like, why are they changing it? We love this logo so much, because hopefully it's going to be tied to success. Hopefully it's going to be tied to good times. And yeah, as I said, I just think it's a great representation of the Bulldogs. Like, you look at the Bulldog, you look at the logo, you look at the logo, it is a Bulldog. It is unmistakably a Bulldog. It's easy to identify. You think, I was about to wrap up the video, but you look at videos like John Bernard, for example, went to Vegas, and you get people showing tourists or people over in America different logos and trying to get them to guess it. And they're pretty bad at guessing logos. You look at this Bulldogs logo, you can't get it wrong. You know what it is. It is a Bulldog. And I think that's really important, because that's what we are. We are the Bulldogs. And I think dropping the shield is a great move. I think, we're not the Shields. We're the Bulldogs. Just have a Bulldog as the logo. I love it. I think it's great. I just look at it and it just fills me with pride. I'm just like, that's us. That's a Bulldog. Like, it's a Bulldog, man. It's not complicated. It is a Bulldog, and I love it. I think it's good. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the logo? Please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before December. We're well on our way. We're getting pretty close, so hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the new logo? As I said, I honestly like it.